Okay. Hopefully YouTube doesn't hate me uh for doing this multiple times. We have issues with multi-streaming. I'm just gonna put it out. So we're exclusively on YouTube today. And hopefully it doesn't like hate me for doing that. But yeah. So okay. Thank you guys so much. We definitely lost some people, but it's gonna be okay. Very awesome, very awesome birthday stream. Great time. It's so good. I don't want to jinx it, but there's no connection issues happening right now. I think your on-screen chat is busted, but it doesn't matter. Is it? Streamlabs was the culprit, it seems? Yeah. Icefire, hello. Sorry this is happening, bro. It's okay. We're gonna cope. It's okay, I guess. There it goes. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Chat on screen looks like a. Wait, what does it look like? Hold on, let me see. Okay, everything's working. NSP, do you want Drakengard remake? Drakengard remake? Yes. Yes. Okay, let's actually pull up the state of play. Okay, let me actually pull it up. Giant Monkey Butt, thank you so much. Just slipping in some cash to keep YouTube from screwing this up. Yeah, the more super chats, the more YouTube cannot possibly disrupt the stream, guys. It is a fact. It is a fact. By sending your support, they canonically must keep the servers running. Up to date. Can we go up to date? Alright, refresh it so that it. Okay. We're good. There's no frame drops. There's no buffering. Revu, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, you're right. It's hella loud. I'm like screaming. My bad. Actually, there we go. Why? Yeah. Why are these things always so loud? Okay, there we go. Dustbloods has pissed Sony off so much that there will never be a Bloodborne remake. I know. Yeah, I just hope that YouTube doesn't get mad at me for doing all those different streams. Because YouTube is like weird and they'll be like, you spammed and now we're gonna like destroy your algorithm because you make multiple streams. It's actually very funny because um, I've only ever one time got a community guideline strike in like my entire history of YouTube. One time have I ever gotten a strike, and you guys will not believe what the strike was for. I basically created like a stream and I was having streaming issues and just like today basically. And I basically like told everyone like, "Hey, go to Twitch because we're having problems on YouTube streaming and it wasn't working." And then because I guess I told people to go to Twitch, YouTube said that that's like diverting traffic away from YouTube, and they basically gave me a community guideline strike for that. They said it was spamming essentially. So that's why like with restarting the stream, I'm always like super nervous because I'm like, am I gonna get like fucking clapped again for restarting the stream? I don't know. Okay, I have fun with game shows now that I'm not working in game journalism. I don't have to worry about beans spilling out accidentally. Yeah. Don't have to worry about saying too much. Just got here from the Twitch side. Oh, thank you. That's lame, dude. It's so fucking lame. And again, that's like the only community guidelines strike I've ever gotten before, and never gotten the copyright strike. Never gotten anything else. That was actually back in like 2019. Being this handsome is a federal crime. Oh, thank you. Every time I see what you look like, I can't believe you are the FF guy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that a lot. You know, most times I tell people what I do, they always assume that like I'd be like a Call of Duty YouTuber or like Minecraft or Fortnite. Do strikes disappear after a year or so? Yeah. They have a system now that you can actually clear strikes off of your record. They used to stay on your channel permanently. So it used to be that if you got a strike, that strike was just on your channel forever. And so for me, when I first got that strike, it was devastating because it's kind of like this goes on your permanent record forever. And I was like, dang, it feels like my channel's been violated, and this sucks. But thankfully, YouTube made a terms of service adjustment where they allow for strikes to be removed after a certain time. And you basically take like this, you know how like when you get like a traffic ticket, they have certain courses that you can take online to reduce the the price of how much you pay the ticket. Essentially is like that. So like you take like this little YouTube course and it teaches you to not disobey um, your YouTube overlords ever again, or they will punish you and remove your livelihood. So yeah, I don't think anything bad should happen, but I think it'll be okay. I do feel bad for um, the Twitch audience, so didn't AI already mess up the YouTube algorithm? Yeah. All this stuff aside though, I would still say that ultimately YouTube is the place to be. Like in terms of like being a content creator, in terms of putting yourself out there on the internet, there's still no better platform to do all of that than YouTube. It still overall is like the best platform to monetize on. It's easy to stream on for the most part. It's you can make shorts, diversity of content, and then also just the community is good and well-meaning, and you can find like a lot of different stuff. Yeah, rather than sitting through 9 ads on Twitch. Yeah, that's another thing too, is that you can buy YouTube Premium and you can not have any ads on your streams, right? All of them. Every YouTube creator you watch can be ad free, versus with Twitch, it's like it's every single creator um, is independent of that. So YouTube does kind of have like a better deal on that. So, but it's hard to say though too because I don't know if Twitch could ever move to a platform like that. Twitch has fun emotes. Twitch does have fun emotes and a better just UI UX for watching stuff. Yeah, I watch more YouTube than anything else, so a $10 a year for YouTube Premium is super worth it. Wait, $10 a year? Are you buying it with a VPN? Fast and Bulbous, thank you so much for the super chat. You can super chat too, chat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like another thing too, is that super chats are probably um the coolest feature. It's super awesome. And again, thank you so much, Fast and Bulbous. Is it 10 a month? Dude, it's like 17 a month for me. Yeah. What the fuck are you doing to get 10 a month? Yeah, are you VPN? Are you paying like US currency? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's 17 a month for me. What did you get for your birthday? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Hold on, let me show you my girlfriend. Or fiance, wife. I'm so used to calling her my girlfriend. But not technically married. Yeah, I still call her my wife anyway. We got 36 seconds, but just real quick. She got me this jacket. And it's got Igus on it. Because as you guys know, I fucking love Persona 3. And I love Igus. So, yeah. This jacket, this is like official licensed merch, by the way. So, it's Enrage. Yeah, it's super sick, man. Super nice. Toaster fan? You goddamn right. You goddamn right. I'm a Toaster fan. Okay, let me turn it up. Final Fantasy 17.
Every time the sun dies, time stretches and tears.
Oh, is this the Raw cooling game? Oh, it is!
Signal corrupted. Approximating.
Is that the thing from the ridge?
Confirmed.
You better stay out of my way.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Gregory Loudon, Creative Director at Housemarque. Today we are thrilled to show off this first look of gameplay for Saros running on PS5. Saros builds on Returnal's award-winning action and tells the emotional and haunting story of Arjun Devraj's drive for answers on the shape-shifting planet of Carcosa.
This looks cool.
Here we show off one of our exciting combat features, the Soltari Shield. By holding R1, you can defend yourself and absorb projectiles.
Dude, this looks pretty fucking awesome, actually.
By absorbing projectiles, you can now hit back hard using your power weapon. By holding the adaptive trigger on L2, you'll be able to destroy enemies using Eclipse-driven weaponry.
detected.
Mark it on the map.
Here is a Soltari hololog, where you can learn more about lost Carcosa.
I'll try to forget.
Hold on for me. I will find you. I promise.
Dude, I think this game looks sick, man. The art direction is really good, too.
This is Second
is
Chance,
Raul still
where you
dating
can be
Alana?
revived on first death to get straight back
awesome.
into the action. Second Chance is part of our permanent progression systems, which
they
means
first
you
kinda
will
talked about
always
that.
come back stronger.
The sun is forever.
Dude, this looks sick as fuck.
We hope you loved that first look at gameplay. We're looking forward to revealing more on our mysterious and moving story and our amazing ensemble cast of NPCs in the coming months. Next year is when you'll be able to play Saros on PS5 and enhanced for PS5 Pro. Thanks for watching. We can't wait to share more
I'll
from
wait
all
for
of the
PC.
team working on Saros.
But thanks. Let me know when I can play it on PC. But that's really cool. Art direction is baller, man. Yeah, and that's like no disrespect to PlayStation. I just can't play anything with like shooting mechanics on a controller. I just don't like doing it. Especially like the primary thing that you do is shoot. I want a keyboard and mouse for that. But like other than that, yeah. Looks awesome. Yeah, that and that like 120 frames, like the particle stuff will look incredible. NSP saying he's gonna start playing Overwatch on stream.
You actually want to deploy her? You cannot be serious.
Cascade is one of our most highly trained operants.
She's been shelved for 5 years. The parties marked her as a failure.
She won't have to do it alone. Her old squad is still out there.
I thought they'd all been ripped to shreds.
Probably. But she can scrape what's left of them back
Yeah, I
together.
think this is like the Disco
All
Elysium
over again.
And what if she butchers
successor.
it like last time?
Is it actually Disco Elysium 2 or is it?
Throw more assets at the problem. We have plenty more.
I guess. She's a pathetic, fragile embarrassment. And her methods are so unhinged.
But
First
they
of all,
get
these
results,
backgrounds, right? They look hand drawn.
Long-range missiles get results.
no? Show a little faith. We're at the end of history. Everything that could go wrong already has.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, is this literally? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not literally Disco Elysium 2. It's like a spiritual successor. I had heard that this was in development, so that makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that like the Disco Elysium IP is kind of like tied up, and so the developers of it are making like a new thing that's basically Disco Elysium 2, but yeah. I was really loving the backgrounds, which look kind of hand drawn. Is this Flight Simulator? Yo, Flight Simulator coming to PlayStation is kind of crazy, right? Because that's a Microsoft exclusive. But I mean, well. What does it mean to be a Microsoft exclusive anymore? When Microsoft has no exclusives. Yeah, dude. Fucking Flight Simulator is coming to PlayStation. Truly Jover for Xbox exclusives. Wait, Flight Simulator is $100 base? Really?
Hostiles inbound. 100 meters in closing.
I got 2. East side.
Moving right to left.
I got 3 west side.
Frame shoot. On the T of X.
I really don't like that
2.
video games now, like console gaming, is just
1.
Microsoft, I mean Sony and Nintendo, man. I really don't like it.
The world as it's commonly known has crumbled. Alliances that held since the end of World War II, gone.
Dagger, this is Pax's ballsiest play yet.
I think Microsoft being out of the game is not even good for Sony fans.
You're playing a dangerous game, no doubt about it. Wouldn't be Dagger without insurmountable odds.
The whole world's gonna look different now. Just takes a little shake of perspective.
Gotta love a challenge.
Stand by for re-attack call.
Light him up! We gotta move!
Dude, the set pieces on this look insane.
Hold on!
Kincaid will pay for this.
But we don't know how high it goes.
You trying to start a war with the CIA?
That is not the fucking question!
This is it. I know what I gotta do.
Hey everyone, I'm Sean Benson.
And I'm Sid Schumann. Sean and I are back to share news and release dates for games coming to PS5.
But first, thanks to EA and Battlefield Studios for that new look at the single-player campaign for Battlefield 6. It launches October 10th on PS5.
Now, let's celebrate one of my favorite games of all time, which is marking its 25th anniversary this year.
Kingdom Hearts. Nah. I tried, bro.
Deus Ex
I really did.
This PS5 remaster is a collaboration between Eidos Montreal and Aspyr, the studio behind remastered classics.
Oh shit,
like
Deus
Tomb Raider
Ex
and
is
Soul
back.
River.
Its way back to the people.
That's cool.
And you can't do a damn thing about it.
You play as JC Denton,
Don't tell me you're going to wear your
an augmented operative working to uncover the truth.
Vision is augmented.
This new version adds enhanced visuals, overhauled controls, and support for key PS5 features.
How do you guys
like
feel about
haptic
the
feedback.
enhanced visuals here? Because I don't know.
Deus Ex influenced a generation of
Kinda
RPGs
looks-
with its emphasis on choice and consequence. No two playthroughs unfold the same. Deus Ex Remastered arrives on PS5 early
I
next
feel like
year.
they'd just be better off keeping the original graphics.
It's almost Halloween, and you know what they say.
Yeah, I don't
Everyone's
understand what
entitled
the
to
point of
one
that
good
was.
scare.
Yeah. The graphics are awful? Okay. Okay, it's not just me.
Death
It's not
comes
just
to
me.
Haddonfield in Halloween the Game, a tribute to the John Carpenter classic. The team at Ilphonic invites players to an asymmetrical horror sandbox where you can play as a civilian survivor or Michael Myers himself. In each game, it's up to you as survivors to save these hapless townfolk or to hunt them down as Michael Myers. He possesses unique abilities like shape jump, allowing him to move around the map unseen and pop out where you'd least expect him. Playing as a civilian, it's up to you to lead townsfolk to safety, find a phone, and call the police for help. Civilians can also scavenge for gear and weapons to help them survive when they inevitably cross paths with the unstoppable Michael Myers. Become the boogeyman or protect his victims when Halloween the Game launches on September 8th, 2026.
Oh.
Two big announcements from 11th
Next
Hour
year.
Games. First, their hit action RPG Last Epoch is in development for a PS5. This celebrated dungeon crawler is known for its extensive skill customization, deep and rewarding loot system, and massive time-traveling world. You'll battle through the past, taking down gods and toppling cursed empires to save the world from its ruined future. As for that second announcement, Last Epoch's first major expansion, Orobis, will arrive at the same time as the upcoming PS5 release. The Seven Deadly Sins Origin is an open-world RPG based on the beloved Japanese series, offering a vast single-player campaign and multiplayer areas where cooperation
I actually have not
and
seen this anime,
exploration go hand in
believe it
hand.
or not.
Follow in the footsteps of Tristan, the Prince of Britannia, and play an original story you can experience only in the game. Capture creatures, go fishing, cook your own meals, mine resources, and craft new items as you explore Britannia on your own. Or step beyond the open world to tackle dungeons with a team of up to 4 other players.
This kind of looks cool, if I'm honest.
Transcends time and space. Original heroes join forces with beloved characters from the series to embark on a grand adventure.
Like LOL anime
Venture out
game,
alone
but like
or
at the
with
same time.
friends when the
Looks
Seven
pretty
Deadly
cool.
Sins Origin.
I don't mean
arrives on
anime as in
January
graphics. I
28th.
mean anime as in based on an anime. But yeah, you know what I mean.
2 iconic characters
Sonic!
finally meet in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, launching on PS5 tomorrow. Mega Man and his trusty vehicle, the Rush Roadster, join the lineup as part of the Mega Man DLC pack that arrives early next year. But they're not alone. Proto Man also speeds into the pack. Also included is a stunning reimagining of Dr. Wily's castle from the Mega Man series. Familiar sights and sounds will take players back to some of Mega Man's most memorable adventures. The Mega Man DLC pack comes to PS5
Mega
next
Man
year
Alive
as
in
part of the Season Pass
2025.
and Digital
Yeah,
Deluxe Edition.
I know.
The early unlock period is already underway.
There will
so
not
Digital
be
Deluxe
a Mega
Edition
Man
owners can
game,
get into
though.
Sonic Racing Crossworlds right now.
Notice how it's Sega that Mega Man happened and not
Up
Capcom.
next, 2 announcements from Koei Tecmo Games.
Notice how-
including a release date for Neo 3.
Notice how it's not Capcom doing it.
It is I who will be Shogun.
Kurimatsu, why?
You'll never understand what it means!
I am Himiko. On my honor as queen, I shall defeat Hiroko.
My timeless friend, I trust you. Nothing will stop me from becoming Shogun.
So long as this dark radiance exists, my fights will continue.
What's up with this voice direction?
To rule, one must prove their might.
The light of hope lies unseen at the end of time. Go now!
You wish to become Shogun that badly?
Maybe you don't want it enough. What makes a Shogun anyway?
Takachio! Strength and superiority are what make a
MNTV,
Shogun.
thank you.
I have both! Strength alone is not enough to end this war!
Yeah, Neo 3. Let's go. This Dynasty Wars? Yeah. Is this a remake?
職の陣を炎に沈めます。
反撃を開始するぞ。
戦場ゆえ武をもってお答えいたそう。俺が最強である証明してくれるわ。
Oh, remastered. Oh, okay, cool. You know you're gonna use the sub instead of the dub? Yeah, a lot of times I play games just raw in Japanese. Japanese text too. If I play a game in Japanese, I usually play it all the way in Japanese. So it's like usually I play it Japanese text. Or if I play in English, I play all the way in English. But
our focus, our true objective, is to save this world, our current world.
oh, is this Code
May
Vein?
I remind you that tampering with history
Is this Code Vein too?
is strictly forbidden.
This shit looks tight as fuck, man.
It's time I faced my past. Let's go.
Today, you'll pay your dues!
Anime Souls is back. Dang, and that's soon too. Dude, let's fucking go.
Back in June, we debuted Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilise Chronicles, right here on State of Play.
Yo.
Today, we're joined by the game's director, followed by news from other special guests who are joining us just as Tokyo Game Show kicks off in Japan.
Oh, lock in, chat, lock in! Lock in!
皆さん、こんにちは。ファイナルファンタジータクティクス、
My hero.
バリウスクロニクルズのディレクター、マイヒロです。プレイステーションで発売したオリジナルのファイナルファンタジータクティクスから30年近く経った今でも、多くの方がこのタイトルをお気に入りの一本として挙げてくださっており、オリジナルスタッフの一人として大変嬉しく思っています。今回イバリスクロニクルズという新しい形で再び皆様にお届けできることに我々もワクワクしています。フルボイスや難易度調整などファンの方はもちろん、これまで遊んだことがないプレイヤーの方にも快適に遊んでいただけるように様々な工夫を行いました。
Do not
Chat, we're gonna be-
concern for me. I see your words for what they are.
We're gonna play the shit out of this.
どなたでも楽しんでいただける内容となっておりますので、ぜひ遊んでみてください。それでは発売をお楽しみに。
Let's fucking go. September 30th. And they said they had other announcements.
Now then, shall we play?
I guess not.
先輩アンクルさん
No.
いよいよ発表できる時が来ました。はい。タイトル名は
Dog, the way they phrased it was like they had other Square Enix announcements, right? Am I tripping? Like, but the way they said that was like.
このゲームは近接アクションとローグライトを軸に PVPVE の仕組みを取り入れたいわばエクストラクションアクションゲームとなっています。プレイヤーは地獄門と呼ばれる巨大な穴を探索するレイダーとなり、たくさんの恐ろしい怪物や他のプレイヤーのレイダーたちが入り乱れているフィールドを探索し、踏破を目指します。今度は
Maybe they'll
地獄
go
なんですね。
back to it.
はい。探索で手に入れたアイテムを持ち帰るため無事生還したいところですが、死亡すると全てロストしてしまいます。所持品だけではなく キャラクターのボディすらロストします。
相変わらず理不尽だね。
はい。レイダーたちは探索とボディの入れ替えを何度も何度も繰り返し、一番強い自分を作り上げてどこまで潜れるかを競うのが醍醐味となっています。皆さんに新たな面白さを感じてもらえると嬉しいです。立つ。
Alright. The start of a whole new world.
What's this? Music's good. Bound to an unfinished draft, a prisoner of an endless tale. Dog, this music goes fucking crazy. And also, the visual aesthetic for this game is incredible. Holy fuck, dude. It's like this very detailed texture storybook. That's also a platformer. Let's go. Chrono Script. Well, chat, y'all wanted a new Chrono game. Yeah, it looks like a Metroidvania. Yeah.
集英社ゲームズプロデューサーの山本です。
完全新作クロノスクリプトエンドレスエンド、世界初公開映像いかがでしたでしょうか。本作は洋館を訪れた編集者が終わらない物語が描かれた原稿用紙にとらわれてしまい、そこから脱出をするという探索型 2D アクションアドベンチャーゲームとなります。
手書きのペン画というアートスタイルをベースに奥の深いダークファンタジーとして皆さんにお届けできる予定です。終わらない物語がテーマですが、開発はしっかりと終わらせます。
クロノスクリプトエンドレスエンドは2026
Not
年
gonna
発
lie,
売予定
Chrono
です。
Script is a killer name. It is.
お楽しみに。
It's like a very badass name for real. The Endless End.
Citizens of
It's also a cool subtitle.
Today, a new chapter in this land's history shall be written. By
Final
our
Fantasy
own
16-2. Let's
We fight
go.
those who wield power to prey on the weak. Beasts who think themselves men. That is what it means to be a Greyman. The time has come to do what we believe to be right. Cliff, seek out your Greyman comrades. Uncover the truth that lies within. And let your heart speak without fear.
In the end, all will come together as one.
We fight for the future of all. Sound the horn of our final battle. Fight! Fight for Pywell!
Your fight is not for revenge.
Look, it's an icon.
Your pride.
This is 16-2.
Is your
Remember who you are, and let it guide your path.
This does look pretty cool, though.
You will find the answers.
I am actually kind of interested in this. What is this? Oh, wait, this is Crimson Desert. Never mind. I'm not interested. I'm good. What the fuck is this? A speaker? PlayStation speakers? And that's a fuck. Copyright as music, dude. Fucking hate this shit. Wait for it. Oh, that's actually cool. Oh, not bad, actually. Not bad.
Hi everyone, I'm Brett Elston.
And I'm Kristen Zatani.
That was your first look at the Pulse Elevate wireless speakers, which bring the PlayStation audio and chat experience to your desktop with planar magnetic drivers and PlayStation Link wireless technology. Visit PlayStation blog for even more details.
Now, let's check in on what's next for PlayStation Plus. Up first is the October monthly games lineup. The creepy and captivating Alan Wake 2 arrives just in time for spooky season.
Wow,
with
Alan
Goat
Wake 2
Simulator
on
3
PS
and
Plus,
Cocoon
nice.
rounding out the list.
Nice.
These all arrive for PlayStation Plus Essential members on October 7th.
Drakengard. No! Last of Us remastered.
The Last of Us Day is this Friday, September 26th. As part of Naughty Dog and PlayStation's annual celebration of this beloved series, we are thrilled to confirm the addition of The Last of Us Part 2 to the PlayStation Plus game catalog.
We don't let anybody stop us.
Come out and fight!
For PS5 members, this includes The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, the definitive way to experience Ellie and Abby's story, alongside additions like the roguelike survival mode No Return.
If it's not The Last of Us 3, I don't want to fucking see it. Thanks.
Our update to the PlayStation Plus Classics catalog is extra exciting for fans of fighting games and the number 3. Tekken 3 from the original PlayStation and Soul Calibur 3 from the PS2 are coming to the service later this year.
Also arriving this year, another all-time classic from the PS2, Tomb Raider Anniversary.
Cool.
And up next, a special message from the creator behind one of PlayStation's most iconic franchises.
Who could it be? Oh. Come the fuck on, dog.
皆さんこんにちは。グランツーリスモシリーズプロデューサー山内和則です。本日はですね、皆さんにすごく素敵なアップデートをお伝えできることを大変嬉しく思います。この2025年の6月25日に、なんとグランツーリスモの、累計売上本数が1億本を超えたそうです。1億本です。この1億本を超えるってすごいことだなって、作ってる僕らも思うんですけれども、この1億本を、超えたことを記念して、この年末にですね、僕らはグランツーリスモ7のスペック3のアップデートを行う予定です。スペック3のアップデートには、2つの、レーストラック、フォーミュラ1でも使われているトラックであるとか、あるいは8台の新しい車であるとか、新しいサーキットエクスペリエンス、あるいはデータローガンのフィーチャーであるとか、それ以外のさまざまなゲームフィーチャーの大きなアップデートを予定しています。皆さんのおかげで、30年かけてグランツーリスモは1億本を達成しました。本当にありがとうございます。
What's this? Not some shit I want to see, probably. Oh, is that new colors? God of War? That's actually pretty tight design. Are they going to show off the God of War Metroidvania? God of War.
Longer than I can remember.
That's not God of War. I mean, Kratos does a lot. Oh, it's Wolverine! Let's go! Let's go!
I'd like to say I'm not a violent man. The trouble just has a way of finding me.
Oh, man.
But I'd be lying. Doesn't matter where I go.
This looks fucking good.
How far I run.
Holy shit, this looks good.
Death's always waiting.
Holy shit, dude.
Just not for me.
Visuals, combat. Damn, bro.
Cause I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
Nice. Man, fall 2026, only a year more? Not bad. Yeah, that's an easy day one, I think. Wait,
the question that comes up a lot to us at Insomniac Games is, are you going to make a Wolverine game that is as violent, as visceral as the character in the comics? Working with Wolverine is interesting because part of the route to who he is that he's an unreliable narrator. He has gaps in his memory. So Wolverine doesn't really remember a lot of his life, and that's got to be an extremely frustrating aspect.
Go.
He's this ball of rage and fury, but then he could turn on a dime, and he could be very, very kind and tender in the next moment.
When we're casting for someone like Logan, what we're looking for in character traits are someone who can convey a lot with very little being spoken.
When you have that first moment that we show in gameplay, there's so much emotion that you can feel behind his eyes. He looks relentless, he looks gritty, he looks angry, but also he looks maybe a little sad.
That level of acting and being able to just deliver that performance with believability across both spectrums was something Insomniac, ourselves, we all agreed he's the one. We don't need to see anybody else.
Hey, I'm Liam McIntyre, and I play James Logan Howlett in Marvel's Wolverine. That's not bad. That one sort of works. Fans out there know what Wolverine is, who he is. My job is to try and find the essence of who Wolverine is, especially as he applies to our story. People hurt him, people take from him, people betray him. He still fights for people who can't.
Be honest,
fight
you
for
wanted Hugh
themselves.
Jackman, but you couldn't afford him.
One of the
Yeah.
greatest honors of my life, one of the biggest responsibilities I've ever had, and one of the coolest things I've ever got to do.
The entire game is built around staying true to the Wolverine experience.
And then how do we want to put our Insomniac stamp on that? How do we want to put our own spin and creativity, but still give something new and fresh the fans are going to be excited about?
It's the full package. It is a level of detail that we've never been able to do before.
You could see it in the trailer. You can see pores. You can see blood in between the little lines of his teeth. I love the attention to detail.
It's exciting that we're going to be able to bring that kind of fidelity to players.
Wolverine is a character who goes to many places through the comics.
You'll see the Canadian wilderness, you'll see Japan.
There's a shot where Logan is sliding down that rooftop and you can see the breadth of Madripoor and Lowtown.
It's always nice teasing the depth and the amount of characters that we're seeing in the game. Omega
no
Red
culture
makes an
war
appearance,
stuff in chat,
Mystique is
please.
there, and there are some hints to other characters
We don't do that
fans
here.
of Wolverine will recognize for sure.
Another
just
visual
enjoy games.
element of Marvel's Wolverine is the blood. The blood tech that was put into this game is pretty phenomenal.
There's a part in the trailer where Logan jumps down and then he does the claws up through the face. That one I thought maybe was going to be taking it too far, but I am so glad that we have it. It looks fantastic.
Wolverine's combat, making that special, making that feel like him, making it feel different to anything else you've played, that's a tough job. What's so cool for me is There was this one section of the game I got to try. It was just visceral, immediate, and so incredibly satisfying. And I was like, this is gonna be amazing.
We're pretty excited about the artwork that we're using on the cover. It's dynamic, it's rough-edged.
You notice it doesn't look like our past games. It has a sense of urgency and forward movement and rage and fury, and that's Wolverine.
One of the cool things about Insomniac is they are probably the most collaborative group of people I have ever worked with. They make you feel part of their team. That's not something you always get.
We've been in a creative collaboration with Insomniac Games and PlayStation for over a decade now. We've made some of the greatest superhero games of all time, and that was always the goal, making games that are timeless.
I think fans are going to be excited, but I'm also really excited about it because I'm really proud of what we made. We are focused on making the best Wolverine game ever.
On behalf of everyone at Insomniac Games,
I mean, are there a ton of Wolverine games?
We want to thank you for taking time to watch
or that are like well known and really good.
To show you more
I'm sure that it'll be the best Wolverine game ever for sure. This shit looks awesome, man. I am so fucking, you know, I was worried about the leaks and everything and how that impacted them, but they have tanked through it and continue to make something that looks really good. Brother, and I just want to say, with the political messaging stuff, X-Men in itself has like a ton of political messaging in it. It's kind of like the point of X-Men. Anyway, please stop arguing about culture war stuff in the chat.
My fight will continue.
No more one more thing?
PlayStation.
Wow. Okay. Well, how do we rate that one, chat? I think I would give it like a C plus. Or a B minus? It's really carried by Wolverine, right? Like the whole show is like really carried by Wolverine. There wasn't like anything that was like, yeah, I think I'd give it a C. I think I'd give it a C. I think it just really depends on how much you care about Wolverine. If you love Wolverine, is an A. Okay. Let me show you guys real quick. So we take a look at chat over here, their YouTube chat. They are. It's not too good, dog. It's not too good. I don't think I've ever seen this many L's being spent. Which is crazy because I don't think it was that bad. It was pretty fucking mid show other than Wolverine. I don't think it was that bad though, to warrant everyone spamming L. Come on now. Are you streaming the Tokyo Game Show? Yes. Actually, what days are the Tokyo Game Show again? Let me check. It's the 25th through the 28th. Okay. Yeah, we should be able to stream it. When are the main shows at TGS? Can anyone find the schedule? Just join. Has the state of play started or it's over, brother? Unfortunately, we're all enjoying the aftermath of the state of play. Wolverine looks like a classic beat 'em up, stages and set pieces. Imagine Uncharted with claws. Yeah, that's the vibe that I get from it too. That's pretty much what I get. Imagine if Spider-Man was on the ground. That's basically it. I've always been more into Wolverine than Spider-Man, even though I'm not a huge comic fan. Might be a great game. Yeah, it looks like a great game. Is it possible they had planned to have more from Square and they all got pulled at the last minute, so the pre-recorded message was left and confusing? Yeah, that's actually a great question because you guys heard it and I heard it too. The way they said it, let's go back to the stream. The way they said it was essentially like, we're going to talk about tactics for a little bit and then we're going to talk about some other, like, we have some other like Square announcements. So let's see. It's like right here, maybe? Okay.
Back
right
in
here.
June, we debuted Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, right here on State of Play.
Today, we're joined by the game's director, followed by news from other special guests who are joining us just as Tokyo Game Show kicks off in Japan.
Hi, Leon. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, okay. So, I guess what they meant by this was that, like, oh, hey, we also have other Japanese guests that are joining us today, but like, not that those guests are specifically Square Enix guests. She shoved Japanese developers only one, but yeah, that's basically what happened. She was basically like, yeah, we have other Japanese guests too on top of Mihiro-san here today. So, fuck. Why would you word it like that? Why? It sounded like, the way it was worded sounded like, oh, hey, we have other people here to make big announcements from Square. Whereas, like, what she really meant is that, yeah, we have plenty of Japanese developers that are also joining us today on this stream for Tokyo Game Show. I agree, though, at the time, it sounded like more Square guests after this. No, it definitely does. It definitely does. And that was a mistake on them for scripting it like that. Because who watching would not think that that meant more Square Enix guests? Like, the way that is said sounds like it means more Square Enix guests, but it doesn't. So they worded it exactly how they meant it to cause hype, unfounded hype. Yeah, it just feels like it felt kind of baity. It felt like, damn. Yeah, I thought we were finally gonna get something, dude. I was like, holy shit, Drakengard actually is here. It's actually going to happen, like, right now. And then it just doesn't. That's so sad. We're so fucking cooked, guys. It's okay. You know, it's what we expect, or what we should expect. You know, as I've said before, Square is going through a reboot right now. And so that means that announcements are going to be slow and very far in the distance. It means that a lot of the frankly, a lot of the stuff they were working on got canceled. So a lot of the games that we would normally be anticipating right now, I'm sure that there was some like Final Fantasy type spin-offs that were in the works that also probably got canceled, right? This reboot feels like a hard reset. It kind of is. And to be honest, it's painful, but it kind of needed to happen, right? Like, Square was making a ton of video games, but all of them were landing like we're landing like a wet towel. I mean, mixed reviews, poor sales, and don't get me wrong, they definitely had like a dedicated fan base who loved a lot of the games that were coming out, but they were not performing well. And a lot of those games, actually, let me dial back. A lot of those games fucking did not have fan bases, right? There is no fucking Foam Stars fan base, right? There's no one who's like knee deep into Foam Stars who's like, yeah, bro, fucking love Foam Stars. Can't wait for, you know, the next Foam Stars update. There was no Foam Star. There was no Babylon's Fall like fandom or anything like that. I think there was one guy playing Babylon's Fall, and that one guy was newsworthy enough to generate like an entire like article basically about him, because they were like, yo, there's a singular guy who fucking like loves Babylon's Fall. Visions of Mana and games like that, they had a following, right? Like the recent Star Ocean game had a decent following and stuff like that, but the games weren't really performing like amazing, and then their Metacritic scores were also lacking, which would again contribute to lackluster sales, etc. Don't forget Killer Inn. Yeah, Killer Inn is also going to be like pretty dead, right? Like, the funny thing about Killer Inn is that the only traction it will get is from people who just like want to see the latest Square Enix flop. And I'm not even saying that the game is necessarily going to be bad. It's just like the only reason that people will probably be tuning in to Killer Inn will just be to see like how bad it lines up with their perception of what it is, or what they think it is will be. Robert Lewis, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I managed to enjoy Visions a lot despite the rough VA and weak late game. That series could use more love from the devs, dude. What happened with that game was so sad, because basically the day they fucking launched it, they also shut the studio down. So that means that they had no fucking faith in it. Yeah. A lot of people hate Square Enix, sadly. Yeah, I mean, Square Enix hate is complicated, because in a lot of ways they definitely fucking deserve the criticism. Let's just be honest. And then in a lot of ways it's like it is a bit overblown too. A lot of ways people are just like mad that they're just not doing the thing that they specifically want them to do. So it's always kind of hard to like really talk about like Square criticism. I try to be like one of the guys that's in this space that's like reasonable about like what criticism they do deserve, and like what is just like fans being stupid and like, you know, just creating their moves. They've made a lot of dumb moves, but it could also be so much worse, right? It's because it's not like they're not making good games. Square is still making good games. Bluntly, the problem is that they just don't make as many good games as they should be making. Their lackluster and average stuff is like greatly outpacing their like truly high quality games, and that's kind of the problem, right? Square's problem was tracing trends, but even their worst FF games are still good. Yeah, I mean, even the worst Final Fantasy games still have really passionate, strong followings. I don't think that there's any post FF7 FF game that does not have the most dedicated following that you can find out there, even the more controversial ones. So at least we know that SE still has some great talent like Hamaguchi. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's really because of those talented guys that we still get, a lot of good stuff. I wonder what's going on with those activist investors. Haven't heard much about that lately. Me neither. And they were investing so much up to a point, and then they just stopped. So I kind of wonder what's going on. People see Square Enix and get nervous. There's so much baggage. I mean, yeah, that's a huge problem right now because, the brand faith isn't there in the way that it used to be, and that's probably the biggest issue that they have at the moment, right? So, and I know you guys sometimes hate comparisons, but sometimes you need comparisons for the utility of understanding where you're at. If Capcom announces a new game, like with Pragmata, for example, people are kind of just like Cap God. Like whatever they do, I'm there, I'm seated. And Capcom definitely had a period where things were not fucking like that at all. And people were very at Capcom's throat too. But Capcom kind of turns it around. And now anytime there's a new Capcom game, people are like, let's fucking go. It's going to be good. I know it's going to be good because it's fucking Capcom. Like, hell yes. That is like not the case for Square right now, right? Yep, the entire gaming market sees Square Enix and thinks, oh boy, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, they think, oh fuck. What are they gonna do now? Right? Like skepticism is like the immediate thing that I feel like people feel nowadays with Square Enix. Right? And so they have to restore brand faith. I think that should be their number one prerogative. And I think from everything that we've seen, that is their top priority, is to make sure that there is faith in the Square Enix brand. But let's be honest here. The diminishment of faith in the Square Enix brand is not like entirely unfounded, because when you put out Babylon's Avengers Chocobo GP, what's that? Chocobo GPT, Chocobo GP. When you put out, all of these games that are half baked, under budgeted, so many different issues, so many different failures. Killer Inn is going to be like the next big whack thing that they put out that that like the biggest headline is about it is how badly it failed. Chocobo CBT. Oh man. Yeah, they should actually put that one out. That'd be a banger. So I mean, yeah, so it's not like it comes out of nowhere. And then even on their AAA game side, where it's like their top IPs, they've also put out a ton of games that have had like a lot of mixed reception over the years. A lot of the modern Final Fantasy games are insanely divisive. And even games that are like still technically good are still like also very divisive. Which KH3, for example, super divisive, even though again, something like KH3 is not technically like a bad game, like especially when you put it up against like Babylon's Fall or something, right? And then KH3 did kind of redeem itself a lot with the DLC and stuff, but so they've had like so much divisive stuff. Even FF14 is divisive now. Yeah, even FF14 is like a super divisive thing because of Dawn Trail. And Dawn Trail just really kind of ruined FF14 streak that they had been on since Stormblood, really, or I guess since post Stormblood, where they were just on like, you know, a straight W streak with that game, and then, you know, Ishikawa stepped out of the writing seat for like she stepped out the writing seat for like one expansion, and then like immediately the game just kind of, they should have kept Ishikawa somehow. I wonder what the hell she's up to. I really do. I pray to fucking God she's working on 17. Well, she's still at Square Enix, right? But we don't know what she's actually doing. I hope that she's working on like FF17 or something really important where her talent can be used. I will say I don't like Doncho, but the patch content does redeem it. It's basically like Stormblood for me. Bad expansion, good post-launch. Yeah. Because post-Stormblood is fucking awesome. I'm one of the weirdos, though. I actually like really fucked with Stormblood quite a lot. But I love the characters of Stormblood, so I think that's why like Stormblood like worked for me. Like I love Yugiri, I love Yotsuyu, and I love Xenos. A lot of those are like some of my favorite characters in the game. So there was some quote where Yoshi P was like, Final Fantasy games have to have big budgets, and all our big budget games have to be named Final Fantasy, which explains a lot of their problem, in my opinion. I know the exact quote you're talking about. It was in an interview that we just did a video on, like maybe like last month. And yeah, it was basically the mentality that Final Fantasy games have to have a big budget. Yeah, and if it is big budget, then we have to call it Final Fantasy. It's very like, and I did read that part. I didn't really call attention to it like when I read it, but like because I wanted to give it like a little bit of grace as I was reading it, but I kind of did think I was like, this is not like the way I think you should be thinking about how we should be approaching like FF. I don't think that it's true that FF has to be extraordinarily high budget, and I don't think that it's true that if something is extraordinarily high budget from Square Enix that it should be Final Fantasy, right? Like I think that is like probably like rooted in the problem, like in like what their experience was with keeping the cost down. So I like to petition that 13 Saga and 15 are not modern Final Fantasy, but transitional into whatever the hell we are in now. I mean, and I'm not gonna like disrespect those games, but I will say that it's kind of impossible to ignore that the reception and the circumstances of those games definitely did play a role in where we're at now. And I mean, just Crystal Tools alone, you know, like I said, we could explain quite a bit, but then just like some of the reactions people had, especially to 15, maybe 15 more than any other game in the series, because 15 had this negative perception essentially that it was an unfinished product, right? They sold you this game that was not complete, and also had like this 10-year development cycle, and which really wasn't 10 years, and really was just like a recycle of a canceled game called Final Fantasy Versus 13. And you know, it's so much shit. People would be on board with an awesome looking new AAA IP if it weren't FF, because people wouldn't be putting all their FF expectations into it. Yeah, I actually like really agree. I really agree with that a lot. Like with Final Fantasy 16, would that game have been received better if it wasn't called Final Fantasy? Well, I'll tell you this much. People wouldn't be expecting to play as all of the characters, for sure. And people definitely wouldn't be expecting, like, you know, the world map and all these other things that they tend to put on a Final Fantasy game. So in some ways, I do think it may have been received better, like if it was just called like Iconic War of the Icons or something like that. And so I think that at the same time, I don't think that the game necessarily would have performed better sales wise, because I do think that like with it being a Final Fantasy game, FF as a brand really does bring in people. So being an FF fan is so demoralizing right now. It's the laughingstock of the industry, and fans are fighting over themselves every release. I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. They have to put out... Basically, the only thing that they could do is put out a Final Fantasy game that has most existing Final Fantasy fans excited for it and loves it. But I don't know how they can do that anymore, because they've divided the fan base so much, right? Because they've made so many different valid definitions of what a Final Fantasy game could be, that because of that, they have so many different people that want so many different things. So wait till y'all talk to Atlas fans. Okay, so here is the thing, though. Atlas doesn't have the same problem, though, technically, because, well, Atlas fans, they all hate Persona. It's very funny. They all hate Persona, but then they all, like, gobble Persona up. So, but I think that's, like, a maybe, like, a minority, like, a vocal minority, because I think that, like, most people are just, like, yay, more Persona. But, like, yeah, if you actually look at the core Atlas fandom, they fucking hate everything. Like, nothing is ever good enough. But even when nothing is ever good enough, they still fucking buy it. So, I don't know. Yeah, I have P5 fatigue too. I'm ready for P6. It was really expected from me because FF16 will not sell well because it has Devil May Cry gameplay that is niche and not mainstream. I mean, that is definitely confounding for me that, Yoshi P made the argument that FF16 needs to be an action game because action games have a higher ceiling for sales than turn-based games do, which, fair enough, there may be an argument there for that. However, the general ceiling for character action games is, like, not that high. Like, the highest selling character action game is Devil May Cry 5, and that's 10 million units, and that's like the first one to do that well. Even the God of War, like, if you look back at the original God of War trilogy, which this game is inspired by, every turn-based Final Fantasy, like, was outselling God of War, right? So I'm very confused. Like, I mean God of War 1 through 3, to be clear, not God of War 2018 and beyond. So, yeah, like, it's DMC5 at like 10 million, and then Nier Automata at 9, which is probably about to reach 10 million, and then, like, it immediately drops off to like 4 or 5 million at cap, right? So I don't know. My where I find it confusing is that he says it needs to be action to reach a broader audience, but then it's like, but the style of action that you chose is like a generally niche style of character, like a generally niche style of action. And so I'm really confused about the analysis that we have to be action to sell more, and but at the same time we chose one of the more niche versions of action. So I do find that, like, a little confusing. I don't understand SE's logic in statements like that anymore. I don't either. Well, yeah, because I mean, like, Devil May Cry's design and, like, Final Fantasy's typical design. I say typical because, of course, there are multiple different Final Fantasies, but when you look at the series holistically, they tend to be going in opposite directions, right? Like Final Fantasy, I mean, RPGs in general and character action games tend to go in fairly different directions. And so, yeah, it is really hard to like, I personally don't quite understand how they thought to fit those two things together. So, speaking of which, we can talk a little bit about this, because it's a good transitional thing to talk about. We've touched on it before back when it was a leak, but now it's official. Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal have sold 10 million units worldwide. Master Key, you have a good one, man. So you have 10 million on P5. Actually, we're going to talk about this. Let me pee real quick. My bladder is about to pop. Give me 1 second. We'll talk about P5. Okay. My bladder's empty. Let's fucking go. So, yeah, Persona 5 is now at 10 million. I'm actually very curious on some of the Square Enix to learn something from this. FF16 not being turn-based and changing FF7 story. Let's see. I'm sure people are going to be really angry about this. What are you talking about? 7 Remake sold 7.7. What are you talking about? Okay, yeah. Those comments are about what I expected. So, didn't this 10 million figure include all the spinoffs? No, that was a previous figure. This was a new figure. It had leaked out a little while ago when they had leaked the sales for the Persona games. But yeah, Persona 5 is at 10 million now. Yeah. I expected pretty much everything is going to be about FF. I mean, like, I expect to see like more FF comments in the, let me see. This is incredible, but for how culturally impactful this game has been, I'm sad to only see 10 million. 10 million's a lot. What the fuck? For a game like a JRPG, 10 million's like insane, dude. The world has at least 10 million unemployed people. Yeah, I'm not surprised that some people kind of made it about Final Fantasy. Only, I know, when like Square is like desperate to like break the 10 million threshold. Yeah, but like comparing to God of War, Horizon, or Spider-Man, yeah, it's not like Sony or Nintendo first party selling well for sure, but it's 10 million though for. Does anyone know what P3R is at? P3R is at 2 million. It was also in the leak. Metaphor Refantasio is also at 2 million. I mean, you know, the thing is though too is that these Atlas games cost so much less to make. Square Enix can contract Sandfall Interactive to develop Final Fantasy 17. I wouldn't want that to happen, actually, for a few reasons. For one, I think that Clair Obscur is like its own thing, and I'd rather just see more Clair Obscur, right? Like, I don't want to like sacrifice Clair Obscur to get Final Fantasy back. So yeah, I would rather them just work on Clair Obscur, which is kind of filling the gap for like what a lot of people wanted from it. CS1 can give them. I mean, the Rebirth game engine is the same as the Expedition 33 one. It's Unreal Engine 4. Well, Expedition 33 uses 5, but yeah, I don't think any other Persona game will catch up to P5 level of sales. Maybe P6 will definitely sell faster. I don't know if it'll sell more, but I definitely see P6 hitting like 5 million a lot faster than P5 did. I don't know if any, you know, it's hard to say that like they can make Persona 5 happen again for sure. But then you think about like Persona 4, right? Like Persona 4 was such like a big deal. And it was kind of like, you know, how does the next Persona top Persona 4 in terms of like sales and popularity? And P5 did it. Persona has just been like linearly doing better. Like if you look at Persona, like basically from Persona 2 to 3, 4, 5, it is like literally just been getting better and better and better in terms of sales. And in terms of like broad spread appeal, they just keep nailing it. Square Enix will never outsource FF, and it's probably still action. Well, they outsourced Final Fantasy VII Remake originally before they brought it back in-house. I don't know if they would outsource like a numbered Final Fantasy, but I also think that if they're outsourcing numbered Final Fantasies, there's a huge problem. That's their flagship game, right? And so I really do think that like there is an issue when Square Enix can't make Final Fantasy, right? That's a huge problem to me. If anyone should be able to make it, they should, right? So I think that there's a bigger problem if they feel a need to outsource it in order to make it get the appeal that they want from it, right? So if P6 has the level of polish, OST bangers, actually flawless story, and feels better than a 10 out of 10, P5, it could outsell it. Yeah. I think what really pushed Persona 5 was the vibe and the music, not the gameplay, and eventually being multi-platform, of course. No, I think the gameplay was a huge part of it. I really like Persona gameplay, and I actually think 5's gameplay is awesome. I really like Persona 5's gameplay. P6 after we colonize Mars. That's another habit of Square Enix. They keep outsourcing their shit, then panic and bring them back in house. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that happens a lot, right? They outsource it and then they're like, "Oh shit, we don't really like the quality of work the outsourcers are doing, so we're going to bring it back in." And then they do it and then they fix it up, you know. The amount of time they lost with Final Fantasy VII Remake is ridiculous. If P4 Revival gets all the quality of life that P3 Reload and Royal have, then P4 Revival may become my favorite Atlas game ever. Yeah, Revival should be an easy win for them. I need more people who listen to the P5 soundtrack than actually played the game. Dude, it's incredible. Like, you can actually play, like, the Persona 5 soundtrack in front of people, and they will actually be very curious about what the music is from. Like, I had like Persona 5 music playing while my dad was in the car with me, and he was incredibly fascinated by the music. And I had to explain to him that this is what video game music sounds like now. And he was like, "Holy shit. That's what video game music sounds like?" You know, it's kind of like mind-blowing to him. He was like, "This is jazz." It's like, I love jazz. I'm like, yeah. Video games don't sound like beeps and boops anymore. They have very, very good music. So yeah, I mean, I would not want them to outsource Final Fantasy. I just want them to make it in-house and for it to be good. But also, I think that there's, you know, there's a unique Square Enix feel and vibe that only Square Enix is like really going to be able to capture. And also, I wouldn't want to take away from, like, again, developers like Sandfall. You know, a new Clair Obscur is like right up there with the new Final Fantasy for me. So I don't want them to like work on FF and now we can't have, you know, Clair Obscur 2. And also, too, Clair Obscur 2 is probably going to be bigger than Clair Obscur. You know, it's probably going to be bigger than Expedition 33. They desperately need new ideas. You know, I don't know if new ideas are even their problem, right? It seems to me that they have plenty of great ideas. I don't think that, like, from a conceptual level, that is, I don't think that, like, modern Final Fantasy has had a problem with new ideas, or, like, fresh ideas, right? Like, I don't think that, like, you look at, like, 13, 15, or 16 and say that, like, the problem with those games is that they ran out of ideas or something, right? Like, that's not really the issue to me, right? Like, I don't look at, say, Final Fantasy 13 and think that game is like creatively dry. That's not what strikes me as the issue with what a lot of their modern stuff has been. Actually, I think that Square is still very creatively rich. 13 and 15 are 20-year-old ideas. I think the game design ideas that they have are a lot of the times derivative. So if you mean ideas in that sense, yes, right? Like 15, well, I don't even know. Could you say that 15's gameplay is derivative? Because I don't know any other action RPG that plays like that. And that's probably for the better. That's probably for the better. You could say that 16's gameplay was very derivative because there are definitely other hack and slash games. And those games, I think you can make an argument for, do play better for sure. That much I would definitely agree on. I think that 13 and 15 are pretty original playing games, but they also have flaws that I think are kind of unique to those games. FF15 doesn't play like anything else, but not gonna lie, I don't mean that as a compliment when it comes to Noctis. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely, like, I don't know any other game that has like hold combos like that, and then you use the analog stick to like, yeah. FF6 not a top 5 for you? Well, that's crazy. Oram, what's up? I don't even know, because honestly, even if Square did go back to turn-based for FF, I don't know if they would be able to make a turn-based game that is even on par with the best turn-based games, you know, nowadays. Because they can't just add the parry button, right, and copy Clear Obscure, because then they'll definitely get outed again for trend chasing. But then, you know, you have so many other turn-based games out now, like, you know, the recent Like a Dragon games. You have Persona, Metaphor, you know, so many great turn-based games now. And I don't really know, even if they did go back to turn-based, whether they could make a turn-based game that is actually like good enough to stand out. I did really like Final Fantasy X system, so if they did that, yeah, Trails. I was gonna say Trails, but I kept forgetting. It slipped my mind when I said it. But yeah, Trails, for example, right? Like when I'm playing Trails' turn-based system, I'm like, shit. And that's like loosely based on like some of 10's mechanics too, right? It's very similar to 10. FF15 was unfinished in development, rushed to get something out. Really feels like it, yeah. They got to put some shit out in at least the next 3 years that reinstates consumer faith. Well, okay. So the next 3 years is looking like probably Final Fantasy VII Retrilogy's third game, which I hope is coming out in the next 3 years. Pretty sure that's coming out soon. And then they have Kingdom Hearts 4, which I imagine would be in the next 3 years. I don't know if Final Fantasy 17's in the next 3 years. And then Final Fantasy 9 remake, right? Honestly, I feel like if they didn't try to go full AAA for Final Fantasy 17, that may help. Feels like as they said, as the budget goes higher, the self-control goes away more and more. Yeah, I mean, a lower budget may ironically help them. I think the problem is that they keep trying to blow people away with spectacle. Giant Monkey Butt, thank you so much for this super chat. If Square Enix does a new turn-based system, I would love for them to bring back the FF9 equipment system. You could argue that they semi-have with 7R, like, because you like learn the weapon ability, but yeah, it's not quite the same. I do think that 9's equipment system was badass, and I would love to see that come back as well. Again, thank you so much. 7R Retrilogy battle system is their best bet. Yeah, I agree, because that's a battle system that's still, again, really original, but they don't really have to compete with anyone else on it either, because no one's making a bunch of Retrilogy clones yet, at least. So that's a good point. Silksong proves spectacle doesn't matter nearly as much as being a beefy, high quality game. That's actually what I think Final Fantasy's next frontier actually is just focusing on being a video game. I know that sounds crazy. I'm going to give you guys an extremely hot take right now that goes against what like everybody says on social media. I saw this post And I just couldn't help but feel like this is the wrongest thing ever. Why are people agreeing with this? The idea that Final Fantasy is not intrinsically linked to its gameplay and intrinsically loved for its gameplay. The fact that the idea that, like, intrinsically is probably not the right word. What is the right word that I'm looking for? Fuck it. The idea that Final Fantasy is not loved for its gameplay to me is absolutely absurd. I do not understand why people say inextricably, yes. I do not understand why people say Final Fantasy is just about story. It's not about gameplay. Gameplay is part of how a video game tells its story. You cannot say that it's not about gameplay. Gameplay is part of the story. You don't have moments like the calm flashback without the gameplay being a core mechanism by how which that story is delivered. You don't have it. It doesn't exist. The gameplay has always been a means by which video games in general tell their story. What do people even mean when they say Final Fantasy is not about gameplay, it's about story? The medium by which the story is delivered is gameplay. Because it's a fucking video game. By the way, we have not been arguing the past decade and a half about Final Fantasy stories, although there have been stories for sure that people may love or not love so much. People have been arguing about the gameplay. The biggest controversies are the gameplay. Most of the reasons people like and dislike certain Final Fantasies has more to do with the gameplay than it does a lot of the story. When you ask people if they liked the game or did not like the game, what do they usually start talking about? Not just with Final Fantasy, but like pretty much any video game ever. They start talking about the gameplay. So the idea that Final Fantasy is just about story, it's all just about story. Okay, well, like a fucking book's about story. Like, what does that mean? Right? Like every video games are about the game. You know, like period. Like any other assertion about a video game being about not the gameplay is fucking ridiculous. Period, dude. Saying that like Final Fantasy is not about gameplay, it's about story, completely undermines the game itself. But also, thank you. Yes, chat points it out right here. They keep needlessly changing the gameplay instead of positively iterating on the previous system. Yes. And to that point, why would they keep changing the gameplay so much if the gameplay wasn't the reason that people played Final Fantasy games, right? Like, there wouldn't even be a need to change the gameplay systems because that's not what the series is about. You would keep that to a minimum. If anything, you'd keep recycling the same thing over and over again because no one really played the game for that. Those people just want movies. I think that they view Final Fantasy as just like a mildly interactive movie. And I don't agree with that. I think that they also, like a lot of them, like look back like at Final Fantasy 1 through 10, and they think that nobody actually enjoyed playing those games. They just enjoyed the cutscenes and the story and characters. And that's not true. I know this sounds insane to them, but people actually did enjoy playing Final Fantasy games. Like, yes, the stories are amazing. Yes, the characters are great. Yes, the music is amazing. But believe it or not, people actually did like playing Final Fantasy games. They actually did enjoy the gameplay in those games. It is not like they were like, the gameplay is shit. I don't like this. but I keep reading the story, I keep reading the dialogue, and I keep watching the cutscenes, and that's the only reason I'm playing this. They didn't grow up playing with them. Listen, I would think that that's the case, but then like also the series isn't really even attracting new people. So clearly these are other probably millennials, I assume, maybe, who are like saying this shit, and I'm just like, dude. But also that's like, that would be tantamount to saying that every JRPG basically is just kind of about the story. I don't know. No offense to anyone older here, but FF is a boomer franchise, but FF can't just be a book in 4K graphics. Yes, and the idea that like the very idea that that's what it is like insane to me. It's insane. Like, how can we say that Final Fantasy is not about gameplay? Like, what the fuck? It is a video game. But also, most people coming into a game want good gameplay, right? Like, gameplay is a huge deal. We can't, I guess why Drakengard series has been niche. Yeah, I mean, guess when Yoko Taro games got popular, the moment that they got a fraction of good gameplay with Automata, Yoko Taro games immediately became popular, right? Like, and then everyone was like, oh my God, Nier Automata is so genius. But honestly, if you ask like a lot of Yoko Taro stans, a lot of them don't even feel like Nier Automata is the best Yoko Taro game whatsoever. Like, in terms of story, maybe even music, because Replicant's music's better than Automata's. And, you know, a lot of them would prefer like Drakengard 1, 3, or Nier Replicant over Automata. But the reason that Automata broke through, yes, Automata still has an incredible story, but the reason that Automata is still, the reason that Automata was the game to sell a fuck ton over previous Yoko Taro works is because it was the first Yoko Taro game to have really exceptional gameplay. Now, I know that's somewhat debated because there's a lot of people that don't really care for Automata's like gameplay, but at the time, people really did like that style of platinum action, and it was really well praised, and people liked the gameplay of Automata enough to get into the series. So, yeah. Yeah, the idea that the gameplay doesn't matter is just utterly absurd. The idea that FF is about story and not about gameplay, it's about everything. It's about story and gameplay and music, but it's not just like, we also shouldn't like look at games as like these pieces of things where it's like, oh, it's not about this, it's about that necessarily, like in terms of like one aspect of it. Like, should we say that the music is more elevated than the writing? I don't think so, right? Like, a good game is when audio and writing and game design and all of these different components come together and they synergize and they create this interactive story, right? This interactive gameplay experience. And so to me, it's like, it's fucking insane to think that Final Fantasy is just cutscenes, right? Like, that's the way some people look at this. Like, it's just cutscenes. It's just visual spectacle. It's just that sort of thing. I really don't think that's true. And I feel like that mentality does more bad for Square than it does good. Should have a stream where you and chat create the mechanics of the next FF game. I've actually thought of that exact idea. Like, NSP in the community build FF17. I think we should actually do that soon. Like maybe we'll do that in the next couple weeks, where we actually like the community builds Final Fantasy 17. Like we'll do that as a stream. Maybe we'll turn into a video even. After we finish the stream, of course. But basically, because as Yoshi P said, that they're currently talking right now in Square Enix about like what FF17 should be. So like maybe we should make kind of a like a community like wish list basically for like what we want. Because I do want to, if I could like provide some type of like data or some type of like, you know, enthusiasm from the community to them, so they could be like, hey, here's a clear like, you know, sign of like what people want. I don't know if it'd help them. I don't want them to just be like, oh, hey, this is what the community's saying, so that like we can go ahead and make exactly that. But I do want them to realize like what's actually important to us as a community. And so that they know that like these are the things we can touch. These are the things that are untouchable. These are the things that people value in the series and don't value, etc. So that they can at least know, right? Like, for example, I don't think that we should like tell them the exact setting or like the exact like kind of music that we want to hear. I feel like that's lame. Like if we're like, hey, you should do this, and then they just do that because they think that's what people want to see. But I think if you can communicate to them like, hey, we really value playable party members. And it is something that we feel like Final Fantasy games do need in order to be Final Fantasy. Like, that is a non-negotiable thing. And we know you can do it in an action game because you did it with 7R. And eventually you did it with 15. So, like, whether you do action or whether you do turn-based, we need playable party members, period. Like, the end. I feel like that type of feedback is more helpful than saying, like, oh, we want the next Final Fantasy to take place here, and we want it to be a gunblade user, and we want this job system. So I do think that they do need that type of guidance from the community. So, yeah, if we can do that. I've also thought about, like, polling, too. Like, because I thought that would make, like, for a really interesting piece of content. Where, because you guys know how, like, Final Fantasy Union, they've done, like, polls before. So I think what would actually be, like, really interesting is if we could do, like, a Final Fantasy 17 poll. Like, a comprehensive poll and, like, see what people want. So we can ask questions like, do you want turn-based or action or 7R system or 16 system? Or, like, what do you want combat-wise? What are some of the things that you're looking forward to? What type of setting would you like to see? Just polling those types of things and seeing, like, where the community's head is, I think could also be, like, really interesting to figure out. If the cast and development don't bring you in while having gameplay to keep you on the edge of your seat, it's not going to be good. Yeah. I don't think I can do, or I should say, I don't want to do gameplay that I'm not into and the story be good, nor do I want to, like, drag myself through a game where I find the story to be lackluster, you know? I hate to say it, but I really do want it all when it comes to a game and a good story, you know? Like, I really do want the world there. And I know that's tough, but, like, fuck, man. That's kind of what at least I personally feel that FF was for me personally, where I thought it was an amazing game, and I thought it was also an amazing story. And though FF gameplay has always been very simple, I've always really enjoyed it. Dude, yes, that's what FF is. Yeah, exactly. 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 You know, I feel like people are like, basically like whenever you say it's about like story, not gameplay, it's like saying that it's about like the arms and not the legs. I'd like to have both arms and legs. You know, I'd like to have the full body, like the full experience. Because to me, traditionally, that's like what FF has been. It's been like, oh my God, this gameplay is fucking awesome. And also the story is awesome. Like I like Final Fantasy X. In hindsight now, probably my favorite Final Fantasy. But like Final Fantasy X to me is a game that has fucking everything. Like the gameplay, fucking awesome. The progression systems, awesome. The story, the music, the character designs, awesome. There is like nothing like really like in like the big corners of FF 10 for me, where I'm not looking at it like, oh yeah, the gameplay is cheeks to me, but I still like the story. No. FF 10 to me is the game with everything. And I'm not just pulling out saying that like the game with everything out of for no reason. I want to read you guys a quote. Let me find it. If I can find it. Oh, I think I can find it. I think I found it, chat. Let's fucking go. Let me see. Yes. So, here's a quote from Nomura himself about exactly what I'm talking about here. Kingdom Hearts means a lot of things to a lot of people. This is about Final Fantasy, I promise. For some people, it represents their childhood or it's a story about friendship. What does Kingdom Hearts mean to you? And Nomura said, it's probably the title that represents who I am. When I was starting as a developer, like I wasn't an industry veteran yet. When I was creating the Final Fantasy series, the Final Fantasy titles with Sakaguchi, the father of Final Fantasy, and at that time, he said Final Fantasy is a game that has everything in it. I don't think there are many people left in Square Enix that have worked. I don't think there are many people left in Square Enix that have actually worked with him on Final Fantasy. Of course, Final Fantasy is still continuing on. They are still committing to pushing out titles. But when I started creating Kingdom Hearts, that was when I kind of had this time away from Final Fantasy. Of course, I am working on a Final Fantasy title right now. I believe that was Final Fantasy VII Remake that he was working on at this time. But it was at a time when I was not working on a Final Fantasy. I realized what Sakaguchi-san said about Final Fantasy, that it is a game that incorporates everything to Kingdom Hearts. So I brought that idea to Kingdom Hearts. Currently, looking at newer Final Fantasy titles, to be honest, I don't really think it incorporates that idea of having everything. So I think that Kingdom Hearts to me is a game that has everything. Beautiful quote from Nomura. Anyway, point here is that I don't think that the idea that it's only about story and it's not about gameplay is true. It's not true to Sakaguchi or the people that created it. And it's just literally and logically not true. Not gonna lie, he's right. KH may get stuck in its own lore sometimes, but it is weirdly more FF than modern FF, despite lacking FF elements. I assume you mean characters in KH3, ironically. Yeah, yeah, kind of is. From a gameplay identity perspective, like KH3 actually probably has more FF elements in it than like 15 or 16 do, ironically. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my thought on that. I'm sorry, I just saw like this thread earlier, and it just like made me have like feel a need to go off on this tangent, because I was just like, this is like, I cannot believe that this is the way people think. I was like, this is the problem. This is the problem to me. Right? This is like, we cannot think of this series as not a video game. Like, come on, man. Come on. It has to be a game. It's not just like what the kids say, hype moments and aura. Can't just be that. Can't be, right? It's got to be a fun, engaging video game too. The fact that 15 wasn't just Kingdom Hearts 2 in HD is still very disappointing. I know. I kind of did just want, like, you know, with the Versus 13 promise for like a dark and gritty Kingdom Hearts 2. That's really all I fucking wanted, if I'm honest. I just really wanted, like, this is like dark, mature Kingdom Hearts 2. But unfortunately, yeah, Versus got canceled. Okay, I think that we will end the stream here. I want to thank you all for working with me through all of the technical issues that we had. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes. And we'll be back later this week with Silent Hill F. And then after Silent Hill F, we'll be continuing our playthrough of Trails in the Sky. All right, love you guys so much. We should be multi-streaming again next time for everyone who came from Twitch. It should have sorted itself out, I hope. But until then, I love you so much, and I will see you all next time.